Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week you have the Judgment card as your key to the week. Now whenever you see the Judgment card, yes, it's that blast from the past kind of energy, but this week it's actually about you going to the depths of something. This week it looks like it's very much a deep dive for you guys. You're wanting to get to the bottom of pretty much everything, whether this is your conversations, your communications, like everything. It's kind of like you're not taking anything at face value this week. This could be a week, interesting because, your ruler Venus is currently retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So this could be a week where you're not necessarily very trusting of the information that's coming through or the information that you're getting from all sources. It does look like you are kind of maybe not even delving into the past, but just like this week you could be saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. It's like something just doesn't fit right with you or doesn't sit right with you, and this week you could be saying to yourself and to others, you know what, I don't actually feel like that's the full story. So this week that's what you're looking for. Your actions and your options, you have the Two of Cups. So this could very well be to do with a relationship. It could be about your collaborations or your partnerships. Now, because it is the Two of Cups, remember twos aren't always about partnerships. Sometimes they're about mediating between various different energies, and they can also be about opposition, right? And because you've got this Judgment card here, this could see you looking at all of your relationships across the board. You might be asking some really difficult questions this week, and I don't feel like it's necessarily aimed at catching somebody out. I actually feel like this is you processing at a really deep level. So it's kind of like you're saying, you know what, if I'm ever going to find out if these these connections are actually aligned with who I am or what I'm about, I need to ask some of the harder questions. And this week you're not just going to take anything at face value. This week you are going for that deep dive. You want you want what you want, and what you want this week is to understand, are these connections the right ones? Personal, professional, platonic, all of this stuff is coming up for you this week. Now it could be as well, because you guys have the Judgment card here and this is in your actions, this could be about you going backward, not going backward, but this could be about you reaching out to an old partner or an old collaborator of some sort. This could see you really going through that, that energy of, right, okay, maybe if I'm going to understand how to move on from this, there's more information that I need. So this could be you kind of going in and asking for more information on anything, that this might relate to for you. For your communications and conversations, you have the Ace of Cups. Lots of cups energy, lots of love energy up in the air for you guys. Now, your communications, right? This is about you finding new ways to connect to people, because it's the Ace of Cups. Aces are beginnings, right? Fresh starts. But your Ace of Cups is also about something that is heartfelt, something that is a wish or a desire for you. And because it is here, in your communications, this is about you finding new ways to express your love language, whatever that might mean to you, how you connect with people, the words that you use. This could see you really get into the depths or the bottom of some of your own personal programming when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the way that you communicate. It does look like as well, a lot of you are looking for a new collaboration, but the new collaboration seems to have some echo of the past to it. There's something here that kind of sees you saying, right, you know what, I did this one way, I've done this one way up until recently, and now I need to find a new way to do it. Maybe this is about you discovering some new way of communicating your feelings, of really talking about what it is that you actually feel, or what it is that you really feel aligned with or connected to. For your money and materials, you have the Knight of Wands, right? So this could see you really proactive this week about finding new income streams. Maybe it does look like actually a lot of you have There's a desire or a big purchase that you want to make. And while, you know, there's your ruler Venus is in retrograde at the moment, so big purchases, probably not. But with this Knight of Wands, it sees you determined to get it regardless. You're kind of like saying to yourself, you know what, maybe I'll just have to get it and I'll fix whatever problems come up in that time. Now, don't ever stop living just because a planet is retrograde. It just means that you have to be a bit more cautious. Now, the thing is, the Knight of Wands is not cautious. The Knight of Wands is brave, right? So he's got lots of that kind of energy of, you know what, I'll just go for it and it'll be what it will be. If that is the case for you, because it does look like there's some big thing or, you know, something that you're wanting to purchase or to acquire, and you're kind of saying to yourself, you know what, I'm just going to get it, and come what may, I will deal with it as it sort of arises. Knight of Wands is kind of saying to you, all right, you know what, just go for it. It maybe is going to be one of those weeks when it comes to money and materials where you just kind of have to take the leap and build the ship or the plane on the way down. It does look like that's more of what you're doing, to be fair. A lot of you are looking at travel this week as well, and you might be asking yourself, you know, maybe you're saying, you know what, I just want to take this trip. If you can wait and, you know, until a better time to make such a purchase or to put money down on a trip, especially like an international one, then obviously do. But if you can't, just be sure that it's not going to break the bank. All right, that's, you know, it's age-old adage. All right, so for your love and relations, you have the 10 of Wands. For those of you that are single, it does look like you are now starting to consider what kind of relationships you've been in up until now and how much of a burden they may well have been. It looks like, you know, because it comes underneath the Ace of Cups as well, this could see you really saying to yourself, you know what, this is what I want. And in terms of the type of people that it's going to bring in for you, this could be a week where it's a bit of a turnstile. You know, people like, especially for those of you that are single, you could just find like you're, you know, it's almost like you're being on one of the apps swiping left, like no. You could have all of these options, but none of them really feels right to you. They all feel like they're too heavy, and that's something to pay attention to at the moment. If something feels heavy in terms of a relationship or a connection or a commitment, then it probably isn't right for you at this moment in time. For a select few of you, this is about a move. This is about you considering, you know, like where it is that you go next. For those of you that are partnered, this 10 of Wands, it does look like you and the partner may not necessarily be at odds, but this is a lot of fire and water, right? So it could be a very steamy week for you, for sure. But one thing, sometimes with the 10 of Wands, it can see the person that you, especially in a love collection and a love connection, it can see the person that you are with or dealing with is not necessarily ready for what it is that you're going to say, or maybe they're not necessarily ready for the type of commitment that you're asking for or that you need from them. Either which way, this is going to be a week where you really need to be open about what your true desires are, and you also really need to think about delving deep. So if that is the question and you and your partner are at odds about something, ask yourself the deeper question of why. You know, I'm not saying that you're being unreasonable, but as we're all human, maybe it is that. But this week you are going to need to ask that. It does look like there are going to be some interesting conversations when it comes to partnerships and connections this week. And it does look like you guys are really getting to the nitty-gritty or the depth of it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.